Hello everyone, so today I'll be talking about The Lost Weekend. So let's get to it. So The Lost Weekend came out in 1945 and was directed by Billy Wilder, and this film is based on a novel of the same name by Charles R. Jackson. In this film we have Ray Milland. He plays a character called Don Birnam, who is an alcoholic writer in New York City. So at the start of this film, Don is about to go on this weekend vacation with his brother Wick, but Don doesn't really want to do that, and being an alcoholic, he has actually hidden a bottle just outside his window so that nobody can see it. So his girlfriend Helen, played by Jane Wyman, she comes in and she says that she has 2 tickets to go out to this concert. So Don, wanting to be alone in the apartment with his alcohol, he says why doesn't his brother and his girlfriend go to the concert together and leave him to go and pack his things ready to go out. However, his brother Wick ultimately finds the bottle and pours all the whiskey down the sink. Obviously Don is upset about this, he doesn't like it, but he says that he has no more alcohol left in the apartment, so he sends his brother and sister off to go to the concert, leaving Don on his own. So Don now sets off down to the bar to get some alcohol, and we essentially follow this writer's journey across this 5-day period as he really struggles with his addiction to alcohol. Now, I'd never seen this film before, so this was always quite interesting for me to dive into, because I was familiar with Billy Wilder as a director, and some of his films I absolutely love. So ones like Some Like It Hot I really enjoy, Double Indemnity and The Apartment, and obviously the classic Sunset Boulevard. So going into this one of his earlier films, I was certainly interested. And this is quite a dark film, as you can probably tell, because it's dealing with the issue of alcoholism, which is obviously a fairly serious subject. And actually, this film does a really good job of giving the audience an idea of what it's like to be addicted to alcohol. And Ray Milland as an actor, I was vaguely familiar with him. I'd seen him in Dial M for Murder, and in this film he actually did win the Oscar for Best Actor, and I can certainly see why, because he gives a great performance. You can really sense his struggle throughout this film. He constantly looks annoyed and frustrated when he doesn't have alcohol or he hasn't had a drink recently, and there's lots of scenes throughout this film where you sort of feel sorry for him because you want him to do well, and you can tell he's constantly thinking about the next drink all the time. We also get a good supporting cast in this film. So Jane Wyman, she plays Don's girlfriend Helen, and she obviously really cares about Don, and she's always trying to help him out all the time. We also get this bartender character who is a bit frustrated with Don as well. But generally though, the rest of the acting in this film is quite so-so, to be honest. But really, Ray Milland, he really is obviously the star of this film, and he gives such a great performance, and he's in most of the scenes anyway. So he is the main focus of the film, and this is a really character-driven film. It is all about Don Birnam as a character and him wanting to be a writer. We actually get quite a lot of flashback scenes in this film to see almost how he became addicted to alcohol and his journey over the past few years up to this point where he constantly can't stop thinking about it, and it seems to be the first thing he thinks of when he wakes up, and he ends up hiding alcohol all over the place. And we do get some really fantastic scenes when, after he's hidden the alcohol, he goes back and he can't find where he's hidden it in his apartment, so he's knocking stuff off the shelves, is pushing stuff out the way, making a mess of his apartment just to find this one bottle which he can't remember where he put. So overall, I have to say this is a very effective film in terms of what it does. It's also a very entertaining film as well. Ray Milland gives an emotional performance, and in quite a lot of the scenes his reactions might seem a little bit over the top and a bit crazy, but it's just because the film is showing us the side of the addiction, how it changes his personality, and it's very good at doing that. So if I had to say anything bad about this film, it would probably be the music, the score. I'm not a very big fan of the score in this film. It does tend to be a bit too loud, a bit too in your face, and we get this playing quite a lot of the time when, as I mentioned, in the scenes where Don is looking for the alcohol. But the music is very strange, and it was actually used, performed with an instrument known as a theremin, and this was one of the first movies where the instrument was used, and it was later used in a few sci-fi films like The Day the Earth Stood Still, and as such it has a very sci-fi, eerie, spooky sound to it, which in my opinion doesn't really suit the film. They understand what the filmmakers were going for. They were trying to show Don's frustration and his annoyance and his grief of trying to find this alcohol, and just a sense of what it's like to be addicted to the stuff. So I can sort of understand what they were going for. Also, something which I wasn't necessarily a big fan of was the way the film ends. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for you and tell you exactly how it ends, but needless to say, the film seems to be going in a certain direction with Don's addiction to alcohol and his constant frustration and these weird visions that he keeps having. And all of a sudden, right at the end, it seems to take a different turn. It seems to just go in a different direction, and it all happens quite quickly. And it just seems a bit odd the way that the film ends. It almost seemed as though okay, well, I need to end it now, let's just do this. And in fact, the ending is actually different to the ending in the original novel, which is quite interesting. Nevertheless, the ending on its own is okay. It's just when it's compared to the rest of the film, it doesn't quite seem to fit, in my opinion. However, looking at the film as a whole, I have to say it's a very effective movie at what it's trying to do. And it is very entertaining as well. We get some excellent scenes, and being a real character-driven story, it certainly really made me feel like I was part of the film and watching it. So, having watched a few other Billy Wilder's films, like I mentioned earlier, if I'm to be completely honest, this is probably my least favourite Billy Wilder film. But that's no bad thing, because all his other films I've seen are fantastic movies. And this is a great film as well. It's probably just not one of my personal favourite films. I think it's brilliant, but for me, not necessarily a great standout film. So, overall, I'm going to say The Lost Weekend gets a rating of 8 out of 10. If you like old classic movies from 1940s, particularly film noirs, this will definitely be right up your street. However, if you're not a big fan of that sort of thing, then yeah, you probably won't enjoy this. However, if you do enjoy the Billy Wilder films, then this is a must-see. So there we go. So that is my review of The Lost Weekend. So what do you guys think? Have you seen The Lost Weekend? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Please let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.